Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. So I've got a fun little technology update for you tonight, and that is that I bought a new drone. Ooh. So this is a DJI Mini 4 Pro, and this is the new remote, which is cool. It's got the built-in screen and operating system, which means no more messing around with my phone trying to fly a drone. So yes, if you've watched any of my videos, you may have seen I have drone footage before. I do have an existing drone, but it is terrible. So I had a first edition Mini, so the Mini 1 from DJI, and I bought it off of some super sketchy guy in Sedona for like $100 on Craigslist. So I don't know where he got it from. It might have been some weird prototype or something, but the bottom line is that it was possessed. It just was terrible. Sometimes it would fly off in random directions, or sometimes it would just come falling out of the sky. And most importantly, it had no obstacle avoidance. And so there was no way to do any real legitimate active tracking with the drone. And so anytime you saw footage in any of my videos of a drone like following me, basically what I was doing in those clips was I was using this like third-party app on my phone that uses the developer toolkit to like reprogram the drone to force it to follow, even though there's a potential for crashing into things. And so it kind of worked, but usually it would follow me for like 10 seconds and then just sort of like fly off or crash. And so I was gonna go out and buy a Skydio drone. I was just sort of saving up money for it, but then they stopped selling their drones to consumers. So I went back to DJI and I decided to get the 4 Pro because, first of all, it's still super light. It's under that 250 gram limit. Battery life is well improved, as is the ability to fly in stronger winds, which is awesome because it's always very windy here. But then, most importantly, it's got full 360-degree obstacle avoidance. So it's got sensors on the top, the front, and the bottom. Now, it's not as good as Skydio, for sure, but I just spent 2 days in the woods doing all sorts of tests with this thing, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. I'm gonna share some of the video clips with you so that you can kind of see what this thing is capable of, and I think it's gonna bring a lot of fun content to the channel. So I don't want to really blab anymore. I just want to dive into these clips. I did speed them up a little bit to kind of get through them quicker, but I'm just going to narrate and kind of show you what I was doing in the clips. And I'll tell you, I really tried to crash this thing. I tried to crash it into trees. I tried to crash it into myself, and it was just always flying around me or flying around the trees. So you'll see it's pretty smart, and it's even able to dodge kind of small branches and things. So let's jump into the video clips and I will narrate. All right, so in this first 2 clips, you can see I'm testing out this sort of like orbit mode. I forget what they call it, but basically you just point on an object and you tell it to just continually orbit and follow. And so I was just walking around and I was really trying to get it to sort of crash into trees on the orbit, but it always found a way to swerve around the trees. Here I was just walking down the road and I told it to follow me on the right side, and then I said swoop around to the front, and it did. And then I started playing around with the motorcycle. So you can see I'm on the CRF here, and I just said follow me. Now again, these are sped up a little bit, so it looks like I'm going too fast, but you can see it's like skirting under these branches. No trouble whatsoever following along. Now, I kept it simple and just said, follow me from behind. I could have swooped it around and said, follow, like while driving, switch to the right or switch to the left. But I was a little bit, nervous on this first go around. So I didn't want to put it through too much stress. But you can see I even turned around there on the bike and it just immediately swooped around and went right back behind me again and started following. And, I was swerving around a little bit on the road trying to confuse it. And you can see right here, it comes up to these branches and just really delicately swoops under them. And then it sped back up there to catch back up to me. This was just a test. I had it kind of hovering, waiting for me to show up. So it was just like floating above the road, and it was pretty cool. Let's see, what's next? I think next is just another clip, another follow me mode. I think in this clip, I was trying to see if I could outrun it. And I think I got up to something like 25 or 30 miles an hour and it still managed to stay with me. So that tells you kind of its follow speed capacity, I guess. You can see I was sort of dodging these ruts in the road here, but yeah, it never had trouble following me. And then today I went out on the Himalayan, which you can see here, and I went to a different part of the forest. And same story, I just said, follow me from behind. And I really tried to kind of speed up and swerve around and see if I could get it to lose me. And it never did. You can see here the road turns, and then the path for the drone is like through these trees, and it figures out a way to skirt right around them. Right here, it looks like it's going to hit a branch and then swerves around. And then it looks like I'm going to get away from it here. I start to pull away around this tree, and you're like, oh, it's going to lose me. But then right as it gets around the branch, it like still sees me, and then it zips up to catch me right here. You'll see it. It says, wait a minute, you're going away. And so it's really smart, and I'm impressed that it's able to kind of hold on as long as it does. You can see I was having some fun on those bumps there. And then here at the end, I actually do a full spin around, and the drone kind of keeps me pointed, and then it just immediately picks up and starts following me again. And this is one of the few times where the drone did actually lose me. So it's not perfect. And I think I cut the footage off here, but right as I go around this tree up here, I accelerated, and then it just, as it was trying to sort out the tree, it loses me. And then I had to come back for it. Yeah, see right there. And then here I just started flying the drone around manually. I just wanted to get some fun imagery of Marshall Lake, which is really just a swamp. And yeah, just kind of get a feel for how smoothly things turn, and how the drone responds. And you can see it's really smooth. And this is actually sped up too. So the next clip you're going to see is one of these compilations that DJI will put together for you using your clips. So I'm going to let that run here so you can see. So that's it for the clips. I just wanted to share a couple highlights so you can get a sense of some of the things that I plan to do with the drone. I really think I'm going to start using it more for the tracking and sort of the cinematic aerial shots now that I actually have a drone that records in 4K. So I'm excited to use it more. In other news, I've still been running quite a bit. I ran a 24-hour race a couple weeks ago and managed to run 109 miles, which is a lot of fun, I guess. And then this past weekend, so just 2 weeks later, I ran a 50K down in Phoenix. So yesterday, I ran a 50K, and I ran it really fast for me. It was just a smidge over 5 hours, which that's the fastest 50K I've run in many years. So I'm really excited that that my fitness is kind of peaking right now, and I'm hoping to keep it going and run some more races. Speaking of races, we did have the big ultra lotteries yesterday, so Hard Rock and Western States. I did not get into Western States. I was not expecting to. And I did not get into Hard Rock either. However, I did get waitlisted at Hard Rock at number 8. And that's kind of right in that gray zone of like, I might get in, but probably not until like 2 weeks before the race. So there's a chance I might run Hard Rock again next year, but also, I don't know, I might decide to run something else instead. So it's kind of a nice place to be because I don't have to quite commit yet, but there's a really good chance that if I want to run it, I could. So that's it. Thank you everybody for following along and for checking out these fun video clips. And I'm really excited to deploy this little guy. I need to come up with a name for him. Maybe Felix. I like that. Felix the drone. But anyway, take care everyone. Be safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.